Hello, everyone, and welcome to an Apple a Day. This is your host, Apple here, and we're going to go ahead and get started with our 5-minute meditation. I allow myself to shine. I release negative self-talk and replace it with self-confidence. I practice self-care and self-kindness often. I nourish my soul with self-care. I desire and deserve acts of self-care that speak to me personally. I use self-care to nurture my body, mind, and soul. I replace self-judgment with self-love and self-care. I soothe my troubled mind by practicing self-care and self-love. I feel nurtured through the beauty of self-care. I find joy in self-care and self-compassion. I take excellent care of me. I give myself the priceless gift of self-care. I am free to heal. I shower myself with love and attention. I allow self-care to fill me with peace and contentment. I am happy simply being me. I recognize my need for self-care. I prioritize self-kindness and self-care. I can survive anything with self-love and self-care. I replace self-doubt with self-care. I am proud of my kind soul and grateful heart. I allow myself the same grace and compassion I allow others. I refuse to worry about what others think of me. I know how wonderful I am. I am always willing to love and care for myself. My head is held high and proud. I am worthy of acts of self-care. I trust the wisdom of my body. I shower myself with self-love and self-care as I get through this heartbreak. I enjoy the peace I feel through self-care. I feel greater peace through acts of self-care. I embrace the healing power of self-love and forgiveness. I am happy with who I am and thrilled with who I am becoming. I know that self-care is also self-kindness. I choose to be compassionate to myself as I heal. I embrace thoughts and behaviors that encourage my healing and well-being. I am worthy of self-care today and always. I find joy in acts of self-care. I feel my heart filling with happiness at this very moment. I refuse to let anyone or anything distract me from my self-care practice. I recognize the beauty and uniqueness of my healing journey. I know that my self-care is not negotiable. I embrace the importance of self-care and self-compassion. I give myself permission to care for my body, mind, and soul. I make self-care part of my daily journey and daily routine. I see all the positive things about my body. I love myself enough to care for myself. Self-care brings me peace, contentment, and inspiration. I am glowing when I take care of myself. I practice self-care equally on difficult days and on wonderful days. I am showing self-love when I take the time for self-care. And that'll wrap up our 5-minute meditation. And let's get right into the episode topic. Alright, hi everyone. Get into that episode topic today. It has been a minute. I'm glad to be back. I have much to talk, to tell, and share with you guys. So this week's episode topic question is, where are you in life right now? Do you feel ahead, behind, or on track with your goals? So I'm really glad that I picked this question because, as I said, it has been a minute since I've, talked with you guys. And there is so much to update you guys on. So first, we're going to go with our life updates since the last episode aired. So, one of the biggest changes is just how my day-to-day differs from where it was before. As you all know, I am in pharmacy school, and my day-to-day has changed from being a first-year pharmacy student to a second-year pharmacy student. And even within my second year now, it has changed greatly as well. So my main thing was being involved on campus and being involved within my program. It's something that I very greatly strive for. And I wanted to be in organizations that propelled me to where I wanted to be, the life I wanted to live in the future. And I did for sure get experience with that. But I've had a plethora of life circumstances that have basically called me to step away from those roles. And it is without a doubt painful to step away from those things, because those are roles I was, and honestly still am, very currently passionate about. Whenever I do something, I want to do it to my best ability. And I would say for sure I did that within my roles. But it does suck to have to leave them mid-semester, mid-year. It sucks to have to leave them in general. But I do firmly believe that it is for a reason. And some of those reasons, have come to light. And some of them, I may not get the answers for them until later. And that is perfectly fine with me. My goal is to always do what is best for myself at any given time, which includes, what our meditations were about today. A lot about self-care and self-love. Seeking what makes you happy, seeking what keeps you healthy, physically, emotionally, and certain things were causing more stress than they were causing happiness. So because of that, I'm content with the fact that I had to leave the roles to an extent, but I am so sad that I had to leave them. really enjoyed the experience that I got from those positions. But it's not gonna stop here for me. This for me is just a redirection to do something else. It may be, more unconventional, but it's a way for me to redirect into other ways to do stuff, which I believe is more so my calling at this point. I am trying my best to do more community service or get more within the community so I know how to help the community. The best way to always help a demographic is to know the demographic, and I'm trying my best to be more active with that. So that the difference that I want to make is actually, shown through my work and through my actions and behaviors. Another really, really big update since my last episode, which was basically March or April, like right before finals of my spring semester of P1 year. I'm in a relationship, and that is a big thing for me. It is a super loving, super healthy relationship. I honestly could not ask for a better partner because he is exactly what I've prayed for so long. And I'm so glad that I will get to take on life with him. And we've been taking on life together for like the past couple months, and it has not been easy, for sure. We have dealt with many adult difficulty, not within like, getting together, but just facing life's challenges, like actually our relationship getting put to us. So it's like a lot of people say, they're gonna be in the honeymoon phase kind of thing. And I agree that people can have the honeymoon phase and like it, shift when things get hard. But I feel like for us, we're in the honeymoon phase when things are hard. Like a lot of people have that shift and it's just like, they don't have those things co-committed together, but it still feels like a honeymoon, or still feels like, how I felt on our first date, nervous but very excited. Which we'll probably talk about that at some other time. He may or may not. He probably will be on this podcast at some point. And we can talk about how we started or just life understandings in general, because we both really bounced off of stuff like that when we started talking. With that, there's a bunch of growth that I've, had within the relationship. Understanding myself better, and then understanding myself as a partner, and like how you need to just bounce off of your partner, complement each other, as well as have those common grounds. One of the things that we noticed very early on, we had a lot of similarities, and for me that scared me a little bit, because you don't want to be too similar to somebody and then like when it comes time to differences, the differences are too different, and that makes you fearful, you know? Um, it kind of just drew us closer together and, you know, built a very good foundation of our relationship. And I would say that the hallmark of how close we've gotten, or a brief explanation to the understanding of how close and understanding we are of one another and how much love is within our relationship, is that the people that have seen us together, random strangers, they have complimented us. Like, we bounce off each other very well. We're very funny. But majority of them believe we've been in a relationship way longer than we have been in a relationship. And I take that as a good sign that not only are we comfortable, but like, we've shown that growth both as individuals and as partners to one another. Um, that makes me very happy. That makes me very proud, and I personally can't wait to see like how much more that we, grow. Um, even just within this year, and for the rest of our lives. Um, School, part of the organizations and experiences. Um, it's really been putting me through the ringer. Um, it has really transformed my thinking in the sense of understanding. A lot of times for me, especially with like knowing how I am with school, um, the school aspect, the actual learning aspect, has not really ever, like, it's been a challenge, but it hasn't been like the thing that is going to hold me back from all my goals. It is usually outside factors that do that, and I'm learning how important it is to have a good balance on those aspects that can affect your school or that can affect your life in general. Because once school, um, with school, it is something that, when it's done, at this point for me, this is my last hurrah. Um, when it is done, I will then be transitioning into a job role, and I'll have to learn and understand how to balance those types of things when I have my job. And that is something that scares me, but I'm also looking forward to. Um, in terms of mental health, um, I've been good up until about a couple months ago, when things started affecting, like, school life just got very hectic. um I ended up having to leave my job. On paper, the reason is, business model is not working with you know my main focus, which is school. The hours are not matching up with what I was going to be involved in and stuff like that. But it really was taxing on my mental health. I don't want to have this place be a podcast or a space where it's negativity, because that's not what I'm here for. But I will be completely transparent and completely honest that I was not happy at my job, and even though I needed the money, I needed to preserve my mental health more, and I ended up leaving without having, another job on standby or another job in the back lined up. I had to leave it for the betterment of myself. And even now, I still don't have work, and that makes me scared because, there's no income. But I don't regret it because I know that I would be in a much worse position if I had, stayed there for the money and let my mental health suffer more. So sometimes you do get that choice, that decision you have to make where you have to choose mental health over money. And that was a great opportunity that I showcased that. And, a lot of you have the regret of, not having the income or not having the backup job. A lot of times you would want to have the backup job before you do something like that. But I didn't, and I don't regret my decision. There was another job that I was applying for that I felt like it was perfect for me, and I didn't end up getting it, so I was sad about that as well. And a host of other things have occurred or happened since that time up until now that, I firmly just believe that everything happens for a reason, and I hope that it I will be able to appreciate it when it comes to the time for understanding why those decisions had to take place. Instead of like some people can like be mad about a decision or something, a door closing, but I am hopeful and that opportunities will present themselves to me, and hopefully that is where I go and move forward. With that, with difficulties for me, growth in faith, I personally turn towards God when going through trials and tribulations, and when I'm not. It's just I am trying to become less scared about sharing that aspect of me because it's always been a really big part of who I am since I was young. But it's something that gives me solace, and I'm stepping out of my little box in certain ways to share that love and that community with others, where it's been something where I've gotten burned in the past, and that's more so the reason I don't really share with others. And, step by step, I'm becoming more comfortable with who I am and not being afraid to have certain things like that or analogous to that be seen or shown. As far as job and career trajectory, I'm looking for opportunities. I'm really trying my best to look forward towards opportunities, even though, doors have closed, doors will still be open. As long as you look the right places and put yourself out there, opportunities will come to you that are meant for you. That I'm a firm believer in that. The best advice that I can offer now, based on where I am in all aspects and all changes of my life, is, for one, you need to have so much patience. You need to have so much patience that you are going to be who you are and be who you want to be. You know, if you have a plan, stick to that plan. You can get derailed, you can get deterred, but stick to that plan within your means, within what is possible for you. Sometimes things are not, feasible at that point in time, but that's not to say that they're not going to be feasible ever. For many things, not all things, but for many things. For sure, have patience with yourself, that when things do get hard or they do get tough, that you'll be able to move forward and get those things done and make sure that you're happy within those things as well that you're choosing. I think love is a super important thing. To love others without need for something back, just putting out love into the universe, I feel like is always a good method to, or method or way to navigate your life. But beyond that, it is really good to make sure that you take time and you love yourself. As I mentioned earlier, I left my job because I valued my mental health over the money. And you have to be able to love yourself enough to understand in certain situations you may need to do those types of things. You need to be able to love yourself, to give yourself the grace for when an opportunity falls through or circumstances change, that you don't beat yourself up day in and day out. You want to be able to do what is best for you and make sure that you are happy, because at the end of the day, you are left with you. And if you are not good, then it's very hard to make sure others are good. You can't pour into other cups when yours is empty. So always make sure that you're good. Check on your people, your friends, your family, your loved ones that are usually good. Make sure that they are good, honestly and truly. And make sure that you have people within your circle, your group, whatever you want to call it, that will do what you would do for them. At least, always have at least one. The last thing I would say is to make sure that you have understanding. And certain things, you won't get understanding for until later. Sometimes you won't get the answers that you're looking for right away, and that's okay, and that's fine. The most important thing, though, is to make sure that you're open to that truth when it comes to you. You may not like that it is the truth. You may not like that this is what it is, but be open to at least being content with, hey, this is what it is. This is how it has to be. This is how it has to go. I can't fight it. I can't do anything to change it. If I could, I would have done something to change it. If I can't, there is no reason for me to beat myself up about it or, look at things in super negative lights. Whatever, it is. You always want to make sure that what you're getting out of something is an understanding. And that understanding can be agree to disagree, and that's fine as well. So, with that, we're going to end the podcast episode with stating 3 good things. So, as I mentioned before, life has been pretty difficult for me, and I'll go into more detail about this in the upcoming episodes. They're more specifically geared to revisiting topics that we have discussed in the past, but also incorporating new things in as well. But three good things. I have friends that care about me so much, and when I've been going through such a hard time recently, I really realized how much people care about me, how much people, will pray for me, will root for me to get to the other side of whatever difficulty or challenge I'm facing. And I cannot thank them enough for how kind they are and how much love they have shown me. And I definitely will, it's not going to go forgotten for sure. I will definitely be repaying them in some way, shape, or form. Um, on top of that, um, my boyfriend has been he's been my rock throughout all the challenges that we face individually and as a couple. He's been my rock, and I've been his rock, and we've been very supportive and, just emotionally there for each other. And I can't thank him enough. Even in this lifetime or the next, there's not enough thanks that I can give to him. For sure. And I would definitely like to thank God for, always being there and being present, and protecting me from things. I cannot thank him enough for putting me on the path that he has, and just really being such a source of not only wisdom but of kindness and mercy. Sometimes you feel like you just need a really big hug, and like I feel like for me with prayer and just meditation, he's definitely been that for me. So openly, I cannot thank these people enough for being who they are to me. I'm thankful for the friends that I've made along the way, and the positions, and the meetings, and the everywhere that I've been active. I can't thank anyone enough for being so kind and for giving me the opportunity and the chance to do the things that I have. And lastly, I feel like I've done more than three, but I do want to thank like my family for being who they are, how they are, because it's put me in the position to be able to grow in the way that I need. And I appreciate that more than anything. And with that, I'd like to thank you all for listening in. This has been an apple a day. Be sure to reach out on social media at an apple a day on Twitter, or check out the Instagram. And again, thank you guys so much for watching, or so much for listening in. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you, and take care.